everybody, Brent back with you. And today I have finally finished a quest. A journey that wasn't planned or anticipated, but has taken over 5 years to accomplish. And I finally have the final piece that has brought this quest to an end. And I'm going to show you the final card that I received, found finally, and then I'll turn the camera around and show you all the pieces that have led up to this culmination of a quest, so to speak. Rodney Cline Carew, I love him. He's one of my favorite, not only players and legends and Hall of Famers, but just one of my favorite people that's played the game. Born in my wife's home country of Panama. There's a lot of other connections that go into it. He's played for my beloved Twins, and he's just a cool dude. He's humble, fiery at the same time. He speaks his mind, but he's also very thankful. He's been humbled later on in his life with a massive heart attack, and the story behind that, if you're not familiar with it. There's a book about him. I have the book. I don't have it with me. I totally forgot the name of it. I'll put it right here. But just look him up, read the book. He's an amazing human being, and for me, it's a no-brainer for me to collect, and I love him. So back in 2019, I have his second year card, 1968 Topps, and chose to get it graded. So I sent that in to PSA to get graded. Before I get too far into that, I am definitely one of those types that when I have a player that I collect, respect, adore, love, whatever, if the rookie card is a shared card, so many of you know his 1967 card is a dual card. Don't dislike the card. I have it. It's, obviously a card that I enjoy having, but I'm always going to be one of those guys that likes his first single card. So any of you out there that are, Pete Rose, I think of the floating heads from that year, Pete Rose, Tony Oliva, then you get to the double cards with obviously, I'm just going to throw some random names out there. Besides Rod Carew, you have Tom Seaver, you have Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan. You get into the 70s and you have players like Mike Schmidt. You have players like Gary Carter, Dale Murphy, that have either, 2, 3, other people on their card. Always going to lean into that second year card. I know there's a lot of you out there that feel that way as well, whether it's a rookie cup or not. Those are the cards I love. And Rod's 1968 has always been one of my favorite cards. Definitely my favorite card of him. So this is the card that I got. So I'm going to show it to you, and then when I turn the camera around, I'll kind of explain to you more in depth what this journey entails and how I got to where I'm at. So got a nice little care package from the folks at PSA and eBay. So kind of them. It's so nice. So you know what these boxes mean. So I've cut it just for the sake of, brevity on this video, but I have not looked at it yet. I do know what it is, obviously. So get rid of this. There it is. Pull this bad boy out of here, out of its blue cardboard cocoon, and show you his 1968 O-Pee-Chee PSA DNA certified. Try to get this without glare. So this is his second year rookie cup O-Pee-Chee autographed. My goodness, and it's in a 7. So it looks great. Probably one of the best looking of all the ones that I have. Spoiler alert. Just as far as corners, and these are notoriously off-centered, top to bottom, left and right. But this is a fine looking copy, and this is the final piece in my quest. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and we're going to talk about said quest and put this final puzzle piece in its place and call it a day. All right, let's turn it around.
The Castle Ark, Our quest is at an end.
All right, so what sits before you is a stack that represents the culmination of this journey. And I believe I have them in the order of when I acquired them. And I'll kind of give a little backstory as to if there's any delightful anecdotes that come with their acquisitions. But for the most part, I think I kind of already told you about this first one. So this is his rookie, 1968 All-Star rookie in a EX5. Many of you have cards that you know you could upgrade, and it wouldn't be necessarily a huge blow to the wallet to do so, but it's this card I've had for a long time, and this is the one that I mentioned that I got graded. So this has a bit more of a, I don't know, nostalgic, sentimental value attached to it. So that's why I've kept this one as is and don't have any intent of upgrading to a higher grade anytime soon. Next we have his 1968 Milton Bradley. I guess I can stop saying 68. They're all 68s. For all of you, so what makes this quest unique too for this year, for a lot of the 60s cards, you would have at least 3 different varieties that you could collect. In 1968, you had a 4th added to the mix with the Milton Bradley. These came in a Milton Bradley game. Some of the tells, these are sometimes often hard to tell the difference between the standard Topps issue, but there is usually a white line. You can kind of see it right there at the bottom. You can compare it, and I don't know if this is going to work, so I apologize, but there's a bit of a white line at the bottom of this. Yeah, you really can't tell. But also the color of the back is usually, not always, but usually brighter or yellow. This is the Milton Bradley. This is the standard. So there is the Milton Bradley. That was my second addition to, and at this point, I'm like, I love the card. So there's no like, hey, you know what? I could see a quest coming out of this. Hadn't quite resonated with me yet. But, you know, hold my beer, because the next one I decided to get was, I love this card so much, and I want to get him to sign it or have an autograph of his card. So this is a 68, again, here I am saying 68, PSA DNA cert, authentic autograph of Rodney Cline Carew on this card. This was the 3rd one that I picked up, and was the first auto that I had. Not first auto of him, but first auto on this card. Okay, so at this point I'm thinking, this is kind of neat. So I don't remember. This started back in 2019-ish. Probably put into my eBay search 1968 Topps Rod Carew. Okay, so had that probably as a search. And then the next card that I purchased was this beautiful 1968 Venezuela of Rod Carew. Let's see if I can get the lighting to be a little better. Let's see if that helps a little. So this is a really good looking Venezuela. As many of you know, they can have paper loss on the back. Can be pretty shoddy on the front. This is pretty good looking for a 2. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, I'm 4 cards in. Let's see if I can keep this run going. So I did a little more research and stuff, and I'm like, okay, there are other options. This could be fun. So then I got the O-Pee-Chee, and this isn't necessarily a hard card to get. It's just something that I either hadn't really truly looked for. Maybe the top search in my eBay wasn't bringing it up, because it's obviously says O-Pee-Chee. So I added this one relatively cheap. It's in an EX Mint 6. You can also tell the difference between the back. This is the standard Topps on the left, O-Pee-Chee on the right. Actually, you can tell a lot more with this one, but it's not necessarily always that cut and dry and or consistent. So part of this, I also just have to trust the fine folks at PSA that they know what they're grading. I mean, obviously the Pee-Chee is obvious because you have the
printed in Canada at the bottom. Sometimes they're going to be in French, depends on the year, but that's obviously your tell is printed in Canada. The Venezuela is going to say the same thing at the bottom for the Venezuela. Actually, this one doesn't. I take that back. The Venezuelans are different year to year. Actually, you can. It's in light writing right there. Again, the lighting is not going to show it, but it does say it right there. All right. So then I'm thinking, what do I have left? I have the regular, the Milton Bradley, the Venezuela, and the O-Pee-Chee. There you go. There's the 4. I wonder if anybody would have signed the Milton Bradley, the Venezuela, or the O-Pee-Chee. This is where the quest, now that I'm firmly entrenched in wanting to do a quest, becomes both difficult and a bit pricey, because you can find these signed as standard, and these other cards you can find with relatively easy searches. These last cards are the ones that took a while and made a bit of a dent in the old wallet. But the next one that I acquired was this Milton Bradley PSA DNA. This is good to auto 10, but it's cool because this is the one that has, I got an inscription on it. 18-time All-Star Rodney Cline Carew was. You can also tell his signature, the older he gets, is a bit shaky. This is also, if you look at his signature pre and post 2015, I believe, when he had his heart attack and heart transplants, his signature changed significantly after that. And, you know, for obvious reasons, but still, you know, a lot of the Hall of Famers that are still with us, their signatures get a bit shaky and change over the years, but nonetheless, amazing 18 times All-Star in red ink, which I love. So this thing really pops. So here we are with the Milton Bradley, okay? And then that leaves us with 2, and you've obviously figured out what last 2 we have. And I'm going to put these out here just to kind of give a gravitas to the final 2. So that's that. The quest stopped there for probably, I'd say, a good 2+ years. And the last 2 cards that I was looking for, I had specific searches for. And then finally one day, oh gosh, actually I did a video on this a couple years ago. I don't know how long it's been. I probably should look, but it's been a while. This bad boy popped up and I jumped on it because I knew I had to, because you do not see these cards autographed. Venezuela. And I'm telling you, this card looks fantastic, just quality-wise for a Venezuela. Are you kidding me? Here's the paper loss on the back. Okay. So that gave it a 2. But the front, my goodness, that's just some schmutz on there. What a gorgeous looking card. This might be one of my favorites in the whole run, is this one right here, because it's a fantastic looking Veni. So this was a big one. This was a big boy. Again, this is a bit of a unicorn when it comes to any player to find one that's autographed, graded, and looking that good, a Venezuela. So that's just, you know, that's peak right there. So got that one a couple years ago, maybe not quite 2 years ago, and then the quest stopped. And sorry about that, had to stop it for a second. I have an AC in this room that's quite loud, and I didn't want that to get in the way of this video. So got this card, the quest stopped, and I had 1 card left. That was the one that I showed you earlier, and I was just stuck on that one forever and ever. I would have always thought, if you would have asked me ahead of time which one would have taken the longest, I would have said this one, and rightfully so, and it did take long. But having a graded, signed O-Pee-Chee was just not happening. And then one bright morning about a month ago, And before I show it again, many of you, I'm sure, have specific searches on your eBay, and ones that have been there for a long time because either they're super rare, very specific, and either you never get a hit on it, or sometimes you'll get a hit, you're like, oh, and you like click on it and it's not that card because somebody was lazy and posted a duplicate card with an incorrect description or something. You know what I mean? Somebody's like posting another player from 1968 and they forgot to change it from, you know, Rod Carew to Tom Seaver or something. So I'll look at it and it's a Tom Seaver rookie card, and I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. So we've all had those moments where it's like, oh, and then just, you know, reality crashes back in. But I did get a hit on my search, and I knew I had to jump on it, and probably overpaid. But I didn't want to take the chance of like reaching out, because there was no best offer attached. It was more just like, hey, you want this, you get it. I was thinking of reaching out to the seller and saying, hey, can we work with me here? But I didn't want to take the chance, so bit the bullet. This is one of the cards that I was mentioning to you that, you know, not going to the National, I had some funds to use for some big boy cards that I wanted in my collection, and this was definitely one of them. And again, I'll show it to you here. This is the O-Pee-Chee, and of all the cards in front of you, this is the, I believe, yes, this is the highest graded card in a 7. So ironically, the one that I waited for the longest, the one that I needed to finish this quest, was, I didn't need it to be a 7. This could have been in a 2. I'd have been fine with it. Auto is a 10, that's fine. I didn't need it to be this great. But here we are. But that's okay. That's okay, because this quest I can put to rest. Let's see here. So there we have it. This is the 1968 Rod Carew All-Star Rookie complete run, I guess. There's no real official term for this. I'd be pretty confident in saying that I don't know if there's anybody else out there that has this run. So I feel pretty honored, pretty stoked to have all of these cards in my collection. That being said, if anybody wanted to go on this quest, 1968 is going to give you the greatest challenge and the most options, because like I said, there are 4 different versions that you can get for this vintage run. So I would, you know, maybe ask you out there, if there's a player that you like that has a 1968 card, maybe consider it, because, you know, not every player was on Milton Bradley. So that's one thing. You have to look and see what players were included on the Milton Bradley run, right? So that would be one caveat, but definitely look at it. It might be kind of fun for you, and, you know, could possibly be a lot cheaper because this is Rod's 2nd year card. So this still carries some inherent value and cost because of that. So anyways, I blabbled for enough, and I just said blabbled. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Anything. I just, you know, I wanted to share this, the culmination of this quest. I'm really excited and happy to finally have it completed, and now I can just display this in my room, and looking forward to doing that, and just sitting back and thanking the stars that we have Rod Carew as a person in our universe. So all that being said, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you next time. All right.